All right, thank you. So a year ago today, I jumped on my horse and headed up to the Murchison. So up in the Murchison, big mining district, and there was an area called the Island Gold Project. And I'd never been there. I just joined the business. I said, look, just go and have a look up there, go and speak to a couple of prospectors and tell me what you think. So I went up there, met a couple of the prospectors from Kew. They took me over the island and we saw gold, quite a bit of it. So then that was the discovery phase. So I'm going to take you through what's happened over the last 12 months and what I chased up on a year ago. So, Island Gold Project. We actually expanded from the Island Gold Project and we just picked up Comet, which runs along strike and gives us 40 kilometres of greenstone, right in the heart of the Murchison. And at the end, I'll talk about the Chobe, elephant country out in the West of Runta. But really, today, it's all about the gold and what we're chasing. So we've got about 4 mil in the bank. We're sitting around a 70 mil market cap. You know, we've been pretty big share price run there. When I first joined the business, it was 2 cents. We're sitting at 8 or 9 cents now, but we have been up to 16. But my drive now is, we've got the drill rigs up there. Let's get the share price running. So you always need a good team. So I'm Luke Cox, started life as a geo, worked in production. And really what I've done through my career, I've explored for gold, I've found gold, I've developed gold, I worked in mining finance. I then became a mine manager and a mine gold for Evolution Mining, did mine closure. So I've been through that whole cycle of taking projects from exploration into production and really hitting these projects hard. But backing me, you always need a good team, so I got Rob Waugh. So Rob Waugh will come into more colour as I show you some maps, because Rob Waugh was the MD of Musgrave, and he pretty much, his tenements surrounded the island, so he knows that area very well. Roger Mason, Antipa MD, really good geo. Then I've got Scott Deacon, corporate finance, then Una. So having that really strong, I guess, board behind me, which is great. So here we are, right in the heartland. Location, location, location. So it's always that TV show. But for us, we have the Great Northern Highway runs through our tenement. The reason for that is that was the archery for the goldfields going back over 100 years. On the island, they mined 40,000 ounces at an ounce a tonne. So there's a little bit of history at surface, but we're coming in. It was the London Mining Company that actually took it in 1893 and mined those ounces. So we're coming back and having another crack at it, and we're going deeper. But as you can see, those blue tenements, the golden stars where I first started 12 months ago, now picked up all of those blue tenements to the northeast, and they're the greenstone belt. Everything south is Ramelius, everything north is Westgold. So we're in that heartland. Now with the island, you can see that green line, that's the Great Northern Highway. You go a kilometre inland and you start to hit the gold. These are banded iron formations, just like Hill 50. Hill 50 to the south of us was 6 million ounces. Now, I'm not saying we've got 6 right now, but what I'm saying, same geology, same gold, same mineralisation. Now, when I rocked up there a year ago, we started walking over these what we call in biffs. What we started to see was gold at surface. That's exactly what they were mining. So we first got the drill rig in there and we started to hit gold at depth, getting significant intercept. But then we walked north and south and we started to see the same structures. So analog structures to what we're hitting today, which is what's called Vadrians. Go right to the north and you hit New Orient. There's a gold mine there. That only went down to 15 metres. That goes to depth. Baxter on the west side, that also goes to depth. So it just shows you there's going to be analog targets that we're going to be going through over the next 3 months. So this is just one of them. This is just one of them. This is called Vadrians. Now, that was one hit 12 months ago. So there was, I think it was 10 metres at 16. I said, that's worth a crack at. So then we went back in, we opened this thing right up. It's now a kilometre in strike and it's 400 metres deep and it's still going. I've got the RC rig there right now. We're extending to the north because what we believe is got this high-grade lode building up, and that's where you're getting your ounces, over the 50 gram metres right through the guts of that deposit. And if you imagine you start to do pit optimisations, that will fit squarely into a nice open pit. And then to the south, we're starting to see plunging chutes, a high grade. That could potentially become an underground. So this is just one of many on the island that we're starting to hunt down. Now, how deep does this go? So if you look on the left-hand side, we did geophysics, so that's gravity down to 400 meters. The banded iron formations are very dense and very magnetic. Now, if you hit them with a structure and mineralizing gold fluids, you drop out the magnetics and you lower the density, and that's the breaks we're starting to see. Every time we see a break, we're starting to see gold. So we drilled down to 400 meters and we hit the gold. So we know these structures are active. We say, well, how deep could this go? So we went to 600 and the structures are still there. So as I say, we're drilling right now. We're going to go to depth and we're going to go along strike and start hitting all of these analog structures. Now, we're going to depth to 600, okay. Well, what's at surface? So what we did recently, we took the air core rig and we peppered the top of these biffs, and they're the red dots. And what we're looking for, as I say, analog structures, so 160 holes. They're in the lab right now. I've still got some diamond deep holes. I've got 5 of those in the lab as well. And we've got the RC rig rack. So at the moment, if I've got one of these called Vagians, which is a kilometre by 400, and I pick up a few of those, all of a sudden, we start to pick up a bigger picture of what potentially could be at the island. So the $1 million questions always to me is like, look, how big do you think this could be? So I look at the mines to the north and south of me. So on the left-hand side, that's Ramelius Break a Day. That was so my chairman, Rob Waugh, he founded that. So that's what he found, 1 million ounces directly to the south of me. So if I stand on the southern end of my tenement, I'm looking into the Break a Day mine. Now, if I walk to the north of my tenement, you see Comet. There's another 1 million ounces. We're all on the same stratigraphy, all on the greenstone belts, and I'm right in the middle, and that's what we're chasing right now. Now, on top of all that, all the action's been around the Comet, all the action's been around the Island Gold Project and what we're drilling, and we're still going to depth. The whole thing's wide open. We picked up this additional tenure called Comet. Now, more recently, Westgold have been divesting some of their assets. One asset they didn't divest was the Comet gold mine. Now, that's one thing I'd love to get my hands on, but obviously they're going to IPO that into Valiant, so that'd be quite interesting to watch. But all that stratigraphy and that mineralisation heads to the northeast into our tenure. So I've got guys on the ground right now. They're mapping the geology. We're going through all of the old spool piles that are up there. We're going to be testing those as well, because we believe there's a strike and it heads all the way up to Tuckabianna. There's another 1 million ounces. So there's 40 kilometres of greenstone belt that we're going to be hitting over the next 12 months. But as I say, we're really focused on the Island Gold Project. That's where we're going to get our ounces immediately. Now, on top of all that, we have almost another company in itself, and that's called the Chobe Project. Now, that's a new name. Chobe is the biggest elephant country in the world over in Africa. We got a major land holding in the West Arunta. West Arunta, that's well known for WA1, niobium. So we're steadily moving ahead with that project as well. So we've just finished aeromagnetics across the whole project. We're now going down to do heritage surveys and ground gravity. And what we're looking for is IOCG, copper gold deposits. This area hasn't never been explored through the central thrust system, and that's the area that we hold. So takeaway highlights, 12 months, we've gone hard at the island. We found the gold, we're finding more. Picked up the Comet Gold Project, 40 kilometres of greenstone belt, right in the heartland of the Murchison, and we've got the Chobe Project. So if you're an investor in Caprice, and thank you everyone that's joined us on this journey in the last 12 months, and we've gone for a fair good run. I've really highlighted, even though we're doing the drilling, it's all about the results. So as you can see, every month there'll be assay results coming through from air core, RC and diamond. So air core at the surface, RC going through the guts of the ore bodies, and then diamond chasing these deposits to depth. So thanks a lot for listening to me. It's been a great run for the last 12 months, and I hope to come back in 12 months' time and just show you how big this thing got. Thank you.